The stars looked cold and distant through the massive windows of the bridge. Captain Lee Doyen stood with his hands behind his back, watching the empty space ahead. The ship moved through the darkness without making a sound. Out here, far from Earth, silence was normal. The UES Goliath was not like other ships. It stretched 15 kilometers from front to back, bigger than most space stations. Its gray metal hull reflected no light. The ship looked like a sleeping giant floating through space. "Captain, all systems are running well," said Commander Park Mirren from her station. She was checking the ship's status on her screen. Numbers and charts showed everything was working perfectly. "Good," Lee replied. He had been captain of the Goliath for 3 years. In that time, they had visited 12 star systems and found 3 planets suitable for human colonies. It was peaceful work, but Lee always stayed alert. Space was full of surprises. Chief Engineer Kang Woo-jin walked onto the bridge. His uniform was clean, but his hands showed the marks of someone who worked with machines. "Captain, the new power core is working better than expected. We have enough energy to run for 6 months without stopping." Lee nodded. The Goliath needed massive amounts of power. It carried 50,000 crew members. The ship had its own farms, factories, and even parks. It was like a floating city. "Navigation report," Lee said to Officer Yoon Hana. The young woman looked up from her controls. "We are on course, sir. We will reach the next system in 4 days." Everything seemed normal, but Lee felt something was wrong. After 20 years in space, he had learned to trust his feelings. Something was watching them. Far away from the Goliath, 3 alien fleets hid behind a dead moon. They had been following the human ship for weeks. None of them had ever seen anything like it. Admiral Veltaran of the Velkari Empire floated in his command chamber. His blue skin showed worry lines around his 4 eyes. "The ship is too big," he said to his officers. "No one builds ships that large unless they plan to fight wars." General Thexmorai of the Theron Collective disagreed. His insect-like body clicked as he spoke through his translator. "Perhaps they are traders. Large ships can carry more goods." War Commander Draxul of the Draktai Confederation showed his sharp teeth. "Traders do not build ships with such thick armor. Look at the scan data. That hull could survive a direct hit from our biggest weapons." The 3 species rarely worked together. They had been enemies for hundreds of years. But this unknown ship worried all of them. So they formed a temporary alliance to study it. "We cannot scan inside the ship," reported a Velkari technician. "Their hull blocks our sensors." Admiral Veltaran felt more worried. What kind of technology can do that? On the Goliath's bridge, Communications Officer Bei Jisoo frowned at her screen. "Captain, I'm getting strange readings on long-range sensors." Lee walked over to her station. "What kind of readings?" "Very weak signals. They appear and disappear quickly. It might be equipment problems, but..." Bei paused. "It feels like someone is trying to scan us." Lee's feeling of danger grew stronger. "Can you locate the source?" "No, sir. The signals are too weak and too far away." Dr. Cho Silgi, the chief science officer, joined them. She was excited by any mystery. "Captain, if someone is scanning us, they are using technology we have never seen. Our sensors should detect any normal scanning attempt." Lee thought about this. Humans had been traveling in space for over 200 years. They had met other intelligent species before, but only a few times. Most first contacts had gone well, but not all. "Alert the senior staff," Lee ordered. "I want a meeting in 1 hour." The alien fleets continued to watch. They saw the human ship change course slightly. This small change made them nervous. "They know we are here," War Commander Draxul said. His claws clicked against his chair. "Impossible," General Thexmorai replied. "We are too far away and using passive sensors only." Admiral Veltaran was not sure. "These humans might be more advanced than we thought. We should contact our home worlds." Messages flew across space to 3 different star systems. The Velkari Empire, Theron Collective, and Draktai Confederation all received the same report. An unknown ship of massive size had entered their territory. Its technology was beyond their understanding. Back on the Goliath, Lee met with his senior officers in the main conference room. The room was large enough for 30 people, but today only 14 attended. "Tell me what you think," Lee said after explaining the strange sensor readings. Lieutenant Colonel Kim Sejin, who commanded the ship's Marines, spoke first. "If someone is watching us, we should be ready to defend ourselves. Or we could try to make contact," suggested diplomatic aide Shin Yuna. "Maybe they are just curious about us." Medical Officer Dr. Jang Hyok agreed. "We should always try peaceful contact first. Intelligence Officer Ryu Sohei had been studying her reports. "Captain, if these are alien ships, they are using technology that can barely reach us. That suggests they are either very far away or trying to stay hidden." "Both could be true," said Systems Analyst Minji. "Aegis has been running analysis on the signals. The computer thinks there are at least 3 different sources." Lee listened to all opinions. As captain, the final choice was his. "We continue on our current course, but I want everyone to stay alert. Double the watch schedules. If someone wants to talk to us, they can come forward and introduce themselves." Security Chief Han Junwoo nodded approval. "I will have extra guards on all important areas." The meeting ended, but Lee stayed in the conference room. He looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, unknown beings were watching his ship and his crew. Were they friendly explorers or potential enemies? The next few hours would bring answers. The Goliath continued its silent journey through space, unaware that 3 alien civilizations were preparing to make a decision that would change the galaxy forever. In the distance, the alien fleets moved closer. Admiral Veltaran, General Thexmarai, and War Commander Draxel prepared to make first contact with humanity. None of them knew they were about to make the biggest mistake in galactic history. 2 days passed before the aliens made their choice. Admiral Veltaran convinced the other commanders that they should try peaceful contact. They decided to approach the human ship with a message of friendship. Captain Lee stood on the bridge when the first transmission came. Communications Officer Bei Jisoo looked surprised as her equipment picked up the signal. "Captain, we are receiving a message," she announced. "The translation software is working on it now." Lee felt his heart beat faster. First contact with a new alien species was always dangerous. "Put it on the main screen." The image appeared fuzzy at first, then cleared. 3 different alien faces looked back at them. One had blue skin and 4 eyes. Another looked like a large insect with compound eyes. The third had gray skin and sharp teeth. "Greetings, unknown vessel," said the blue-skinned alien through the translator. "I am Admiral Veltaran of the Velkari Empire. With me are General Thexmarai of the Theron Collective and War Commander Draxel of the Draktai Confederation." Lee stepped forward. "I am Captain Lee Doyen of the Earth vessel Goliath. We come in peace." Admiral Veltaran seemed pleased. "We are happy to meet you. We represent 3 great civilizations in this part of space. We wish to know more about your people and your intentions here." Commander Park Moran whispered to Lee. "Sir, our long-range sensors now detect over 200 ships. They are staying far away, but they are definitely watching us." Lee nodded but kept his face calm. "We are explorers from the planet Earth. We are looking for new worlds where our people can build colonies. We have no wish to fight anyone." The insect-like General Thexmarai spoke next. "How many ships does your species have?" "Your vessel is very large. We have never seen anything like it." Dr. Cho Solgi had joined them on the bridge. She was excited about the first contact, but also worried. These questions sounded more like military intelligence gathering than friendly conversation. "We have several ships like this one," Lee answered carefully. It was true. Earth had 5 Titan-class ships, though the Goliath was the only one in this part of space. War Commander Draxel leaned forward. His sharp teeth showed as he spoke. "Several ships? How do you plan to use them?" "For exploration and defense," Lee replied. "We only fight when attacked first." This answer made the alien commanders look at each other. War Commander Draxel seemed unhappy with the response. "Defense against whom?" Admiral Veltaran asked. Lee realized he was walking into a trap. "Against anyone who threatens our people or our colonies." The conversation continued for another hour. The aliens asked about human technology, population, and military strength. Lee answered honestly but carefully. He did not want to seem weak, but he also did not want to appear threatening. Dr. Cho tried to ask about alien culture and science, but the commanders seemed uninterested in such topics. They only wanted to know about human military power. Finally, Admiral Veltaran made an offer. "Captain Lee, we would like to invite your species to join our alliance. We can offer trade agreements and mutual protection." "That sounds interesting," Lee replied. "What would this alliance require from us?" "Simply that you respect our territorial boundaries and accept our leadership in this region of space," General Thexmarai explained. Lee felt anger rise in his chest. These aliens wanted humans to become junior partners in their empire. "We appreciate the offer, but humans do not accept leadership from others. We prefer equal partnerships." War Commander Draxel's eyes narrowed. "Equal? You have one ship in our space and you speak of equality? This is just our first ship in this region, Lee said. More will come as we expand our territory. The word expand changed everything. The three alien commanders suddenly looked worried and angry. Expand? Admiral Velterran repeated. How much territory do you plan to claim? Lee realized his mistake, but it was too late. We need room for our growing population. We will take only uninhabited worlds. There are no uninhabited worlds left in this region, War Commander Draxul snarled. Every system belongs to one of our civilizations. The diplomatic meeting was falling apart. Dr. Cho tried to help. Perhaps we could discuss sharing some worlds. Humans are good at cooperation. But her words made things worse. General Thexmarai clicked angrily. Sharing? You come here with warships and demand that we share our planets? We are not demanding anything, Lee said firmly. We are simply stating our needs. War Commander Draxul stood up. Your needs threaten our civilizations. We cannot allow this. Admiral Velterran tried to calm the situation. Perhaps we should take time to think about this. Let us end this meeting and talk again tomorrow. The transmission cut off. Lee stood in the sudden silence of the bridge. His senior officers looked worried. That did not go well, Commander Park said quietly. Intelligence Officer Ryu Sohi was studying her screens. Captain, the alien fleets are changing position. They are moving closer to us. How much closer? Lee asked. They will be in weapons range in 6 hours if they continue at current speed. Lee called another emergency meeting. This time, all senior officers attended, including Chief Engineer Kang Woojin and Weapons Officer Nam Tae-hyun. They think we are invaders, Lee explained to the group. We tried to show strength, but they saw it as a threat. Lieutenant Colonel Kim Sajin was checking his weapon reports. Captain, if they attack us, we can defend ourselves. But 200 ships is a lot. Can we run away? Asked Navigation Officer Yoon Hana. We could, Lee admitted. But if we run, they might think we are weak. They could follow us back to Earth. Dr. Jang Hyuk, the medical officer, looked upset. There must be a peaceful solution. We cannot start a war over a misunderstanding. Diplomatic aide Shin Yuna agreed. Maybe we can try talking to them again. We could explain that we do not want to fight. But Ryu Sohi had bad news. Captain, I have been listening to their communications. They think we are lying about our peaceful intentions. They believe we are the first wave of a massive invasion fleet. Systems analyst Oh Minji added more worrying information. Aegis has analyzed their ship movements. They are forming a battle formation. Lee felt the weight of command on his shoulders. 50,000 crew members depended on his decisions. One wrong choice could start a war between species or get everyone on his ship killed. Alert status yellow, he ordered. All departments prepare for possible combat. But do not charge weapons yet. Maybe we can still find a peaceful solution. The alien fleets continued moving closer. In their command ships, Admiral Velterran, General Thexmarai, and War Commander Draxul were making their own difficult choice. They had 3 options. Let the humans expand into their space, try more diplomacy, or attack first. War Commander Draxul argued for immediate attack. They are alone now, but more ships will come. We should destroy them while we can. Admiral Velterran was reluctant. Perhaps they are telling the truth about being peaceful. Peaceful species do not build ships like that, General Thexmarai pointed out. Look at the size of it. Look at the armor thickness. That is a warship designed to destroy planets. The debate continued for hours, but fear won over wisdom. The 3 commanders agreed to attack the human ship. They convinced themselves it was necessary to protect their civilizations. Neither side wanted war, but both sides prepared for battle. In a few hours, the galaxy would learn what happened when someone attacked humanity's children among the stars. The attack began at exactly 14:30 ship time. Captain Lee was still hoping for a peaceful solution when the first wave of alien missiles appeared on the sensors. Incoming weapons fire, shouted Weapons Officer Nam Tae-hyun. Multiple contacts from 3 directions. Lee felt his stomach drop. All hands battle stations. Raise shields to maximum power. The bridge became busy with activity. Officers ran to their stations while warning sirens echoed through the ship. In seconds, the peaceful exploration vessel transformed into a warship. Commander Park Moran was checking the tactical display. Captain, I count over 300 missiles heading our way, plus energy beams from their largest ships. Time to impact? Lee asked. 30 seconds, Park replied. Lee looked at the main screen. The alien weapons looked like tiny stars against the darkness of space. Soon they would strike his ship and the 50,000 people inside it. "Brace for impact," he ordered. The first missiles hit the Goliath's shields. Brilliant flashes of light covered the ship as antimatter warheads exploded against the defensive barriers. The energy beams followed, trying to burn through the shield generators. Chief Engineer Kang Woo-jin watched his power readings carefully. "Shields holding at 98%, Captain." "The enemy weapons are not very strong," Lee was surprised. The alien attack looked powerful, but it barely touched the Goliath's defenses. "Are you sure about those readings?" "Yes, sir. Their technology is about 50 years behind ours." This news changed everything. Lee had been worried about fighting 200 alien ships, but now he realized his one ship was stronger than their entire fleet. The second wave of attacks came. More missiles and energy beams struck the shields. This time the aliens fired their most powerful weapons. Admiral Veltaran had ordered every ship to use their best shots. "Shields at 96%, Kang reported. Still no serious damage. Lee made a hard decision. He could not let the aliens keep attacking his ship. Someone might get hurt if the battle continued too long. "Nam, prepare to return fire," he ordered. "Target the enemy command ships first." Weapons Officer Nam Tae-hyun had been waiting for this command. His fingers moved quickly over his controls. "Weapons ready, Captain." "Main guns charged and locked on target." "Fire," Lee said quietly. The Goliath's main weapons were fusion lances. Each one could destroy a small moon. The ship had 24 of these massive guns along its length. Nam fired just 4 of them. 4 beams of pure energy crossed space in less than a second. They struck a group of Draktai warships that were leading the attack. The alien vessels simply disappeared. The fusion lances turned them into hot gas and metal dust. On the alien command ships, the 3 leaders watched in horror. 12 of their best warships had been destroyed in one shot. "Impossible," War Commander Draxul whispered. "No weapon is that powerful." Admiral Veltaran was checking his sensors. "Their energy output is 10 times higher than our largest ships." "How is this possible?" General Thexmarai was already ordering a retreat. "All ships pull back!" "We are outmatched." But War Commander Draxul refused to give up. "No, we have numbers on our side." "Continue the attack!" The battle became more fierce. Hundreds of alien ships fired everything they had at the Goliath. Plasma cannons, particle beams, and gravity bombs struck the human ship from all directions. The Goliath's shields absorbed every attack. The ship's point defense systems came online, shooting down missiles and fighter craft. Thousands of small guns tracked and destroyed incoming threats with perfect accuracy. Enemy casualties rising quickly, reported Intelligence Officer Ryu. "Sohi, they have lost 40 ships already." Lee did not want to kill more aliens than necessary. "Nam, target their weapons only. Disable their ships but do not destroy them." But the aliens made this impossible. They kept attacking with desperate fury. Some ships rammed themselves against the Goliath's shields, hoping to break through with suicide attacks. "They are not stopping," Commander Park observed. "What should we do?" Lee realized he had no choice. If he showed too much mercy, the aliens might think humans were weak. That could lead to more attacks on human colonies in the future. "All weapons free fire," he ordered sadly. "Defend the ship." The Goliath unleashed its full power. The massive ship had more weapons than some entire fleets. Fusion lances swept through space, destroying alien capital ships. Mass driver cannons fired metal slugs at incredible speed, punching through armor like paper. Energy nets captured and crushed smaller vessels. Systems analyst Ominji was working with the ship's AI to coordinate the attack. "Aegis is tracking all enemy targets. We have perfect firing solutions on every ship." The artificial intelligence spoke through the bridge speakers. "Captain, enemy fleet effectiveness reduced to 12%. Recommend demand for surrender," Lee agreed. "Open a channel to the alien fleets." Communications Officer Bei Jisoo established the connection. The 3 alien commanders appeared on screen again. They looked shocked and afraid. "This is Captain Lee of the Goliath," he announced. "You have attacked our ship without cause. Surrender now and we will stop firing." Admiral Veltaran spoke first. His voice shook with fear. We did not know. Your ship is far beyond our technology. We surrender." But War Commander Draxul was still angry. "Never. The Draktai do not surrender to anyone." He cut his transmission and ordered his remaining ships to continue the attack. 50 Draktai vessels charged directly at the Goliath, firing everything they had. Lee watched sadly as the alien ships approached. Now mend this. The Goliath's weapons fired once more. In 10 seconds, the entire Draktai attack force was destroyed. War Commander Draxel died with his ships still refusing to surrender. The space around the Goliath was now filled with debris and the glow of burning alien ships. Out of more than 200 vessels, only about 60 survived. Most of these were badly damaged. Cease fire, Lee ordered. The battle is over. Dr. Jang Hyuk was already preparing medical teams. Captain, shall we send rescue ships to help the survivors? Yes, Lee replied. We are not murderers. Help any aliens who need medical attention. Chief Engineer Kang gave his damage report. Captain, our ship has no damage at all. Shields are back to full power. All systems working perfectly. Lee felt sick. His one ship had easily defeated 3 alien fleets. The technology gap was so large that it had been a massacre, not a real battle. On the surviving alien ships, panic was spreading. Admiral Veltaran and General Thexmorai sent emergency messages to their home worlds. The news was terrible. Humanity had weapons that could destroy their entire civilizations. The first alien encounter with humanity's military power was over, but the real consequences were just beginning. News of the battle would spread across the galaxy in hours, causing fear and panic among all alien species. The Goliath drifted alone among the wreckage, its crew trying to understand what they had done. They had come in peace but been forced to show the galaxy's greatest display of military power in centuries. Captain, Lee looked out at the stars and wondered if humans would ever be able to make friends with their alien neighbors. The galaxy had just learned that humanity was not to be underestimated, but they had also learned that humans could be very, very dangerous when threatened. News of the battle spread across the galaxy faster than anyone expected. Within 6 hours, every major civilization knew that 3 allied fleets had been destroyed by a single unknown ship. The political shock was immediate and severe. On the Velkari homeworld, High Council Chairman Mordeth called an emergency meeting. The Great Council chamber filled with worried officials. The blue-skinned leaders talked in hushed voices about the disaster. 240 ships destroyed, reported Military Commander Zeth Lane. Only 60 vessels survived and most are badly damaged. Admiral Veltran's message says the enemy ship took no damage at all. Chairman Mordeth's 4 eyes showed deep concern. How is this possible? Our weapons are the most advanced in the galaxy. Not anymore, replied Science Minister Colthera. The energy readings from this battle show technology we have never seen. Their shields absorbed everything we could fire at them. Similar meetings took place across Theron collective space. In the Great Hive cities, insect-like leaders clicked and buzzed as they discussed the crisis. Queen Matron Thyexvia spoke to her advisors through chemical signals of fear. The humans destroyed our best battle groups without effort, General Thexmorai reported. He had survived the battle but was badly shaken. Their weapons are like nothing in our databases. They can destroy capital ships with single shots. The Draktai Confederation was in complete chaos. With War Commander Draxel dead and most of their fleet destroyed, the remaining leaders argued about what to do next. Some wanted revenge. Others demanded immediate surrender to the humans. We must strike back, growled Sub-Commander Grakton. The Draktai bowed to no one. With what ships? Asked Fleetmaster Velkrax. Half our navy is space dust. The other half is too scared to fight. Meanwhile, on the Goliath, Captain Lee faced his own problems. The battle was over, but the consequences were just beginning. Medical teams had rescued 3,000 alien survivors from the wreckage. Dr. Jang Hyuk was working around the clock to save as many as possible. The alien wounded are responding well to treatment, Dr. Jang reported to Lee. Their biology is different from ours, but the medical scanners are adapting. Lee was glad to hear this. Make sure they get the best care possible. We are not at war with these people. But Intelligence Officer Ryu Sohi had disturbing news. Captain, I have been monitoring alien communications across this sector. Every major civilization is mobilizing their fleets. They think we are planning to invade their space. This worried Lee greatly. How many ships are we talking about? Thousands, Ryu replied. The Velkari Empire is calling up their reserve fleets. The Theron Collective is activating their home defense forces. Even smaller civilizations are joining together against us. Commander Park Miran looked at the tactical displays. Captain, if all these fleets unite against us, we could face 10,000 ships or more. Lee felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. One battle had turned humanity into the most feared species in the galaxy. Can we contact Earth? We need instructions from Fleet Command. Communications Officer Bei Jisoo shook her head. We are too far from Earth. Any message would take 3 months to reach home and another 3 months for a reply. Lee realized he was on his own. Whatever decisions he made in the next few days could determine humanity's future in space. Systems analyst Oh Minji was monitoring the ship's AI systems. Captain Aegis has been analyzing alien communications. The computer thinks they are more afraid than angry. Explain, Lee said. They keep talking about human invasion fleets and massive military buildups, but we know those do not exist. They are scared of something that is not real. Dr. Cho Sulgi joined the conversation. Captain, maybe we can use this fear to prevent more fighting. If they think we have huge fleets, they might not attack us. But diplomatic aide Shin Yuna disagreed. Fear can also make people do desperate things. Scared enemies are often more dangerous than angry ones. Security Chief Han Junwoo was checking reports from across the ship. Captain, some of our crew are worried too. They know we are outnumbered by thousands to 1. Morale is starting to drop. Lee decided to address the crew directly. He used the ship's internal communication system to speak to all 50,000 people aboard. This is your captain speaking. His voice echoed through every corridor and room. I know you are worried about our situation. Yes, we are far from home and surrounded by potential enemies. But remember who we are. We are explorers, not conquerors. We came here in peace and we will find peace again. The crew listened carefully to their captain's words. The aliens attacked us because they were afraid. Lee continued. They saw our ship and thought we were invaders. We defended ourselves as anyone would do. Now the galaxy fears us, but fear can be turned into respect if we act wisely. In the alien territories, fleet commanders were making plans. The 3 major civilizations had never worked together before. But the human threat was changing everything. Admiral Teklaran, the new Velkari fleet commander, spoke with his Theran and remaining Draktai counterparts. We must combine our forces. Alone, none of us can match this human superweapon. General Hix Mara of the Theran Collective agreed. Our species have been enemies for centuries, but now we face extinction if we do not unite. Fleet Master Velkrax represented what remained of the Draktai. My people have lost much, but we will join this alliance. The humans must be stopped. News of this unprecedented alliance spread quickly. For the first time in galactic history, all major civilizations were working together. Their target was a single human ship. Captain Lee learned about the alien alliance through intercepted communications. The situation was getting worse by the hour. They are calling it the Grand Alliance, Ryusohi reported. Every major power has agreed to contribute ships and resources. Lee looked at his senior officers. Each face showed worry and determination. How long before they can gather their fleets? 2 weeks, maybe less, Commander Park estimated. They are moving ships from all across their territories. Chief Engineer Kang Woo-jin spoke up. Captain, the Goliath can handle a large fleet, but 10,000 ships might be too many. Even our weapons have limits. Lee made a decision that would change everything. We are not going to run and we are not going to fight. We are going to do something they do not expect. What? Asked Dr. Cho. We are going to invite them here, Lee said. All of them. We will meet this Grand Alliance face to face and show them who we really are. The officers looked shocked. Lieutenant Colonel Kim Se-jin was the first to speak. Captain, that sounds like suicide. Maybe, Lee admitted. But it might be our only chance to prevent a galactic war. If we run, they will think we are weak and follow us to Earth. If we fight, thousands of beings will die on both sides. But if we can show them that humans are not monsters, maybe we can find peace. The plan was risky beyond belief. Captain Lee was gambling with the lives of his crew and possibly the future of humanity. But sometimes the biggest risks offered the only chance of success. As alien fleets gathered across the galaxy, the crew of the Goliath prepared for the most important meeting in galactic history. In 2 weeks, either peace would be established or the galaxy would burn in the fires of total war. The stakes could not be higher, and everything depended on the choices made by one human captain and his crew among the stars. 2 weeks later, the largest fleet in galactic history arrived at the coordinates Captain Lee had transmitted. Over 2,000 ships from dozens of different civilizations filled the space around the Goliath. It was a sight that had never been seen before and might never be seen again. Fleet Admiral Zexithara commanded the Grand Alliance from her massive flagship. The tall, thin alien looked out at the human vessel with a mixture of fear and curiosity. Around her bridge, officers from 3 different species worked together for the first time. "The human ship has not moved," reported the Velkari sensor officer. "It just sits there waiting for us." "Perhaps it is a trap," suggested the Theran tactical specialist. His insect eyes studied the displays carefully. Admiral Zexathera was not sure. 2,000 ships against 1. What kind of trap could this be? On the Goliath's bridge, Captain Lee watched the alien armada take position around his ship. He had never seen so many vessels in one place. The sight was both beautiful and terrifying. "They have us completely surrounded," observed Commander Park Miran. "Every escape route is blocked." "Good," Lee replied. "That means they will all hear what I have to say." Communications Officer Bai Jisoo looked nervous. "Captain, they are sending a message." "Put it on screen," Lee ordered. Fleet Admiral Zexathera appeared on the main display. Her pale blue skin and silver uniform made her look like a figure from a dream. "Human Captain," she began, "I am Fleet Admiral Zexathera of the Grand Alliance. You are surrounded by the combined fleets of 47 civilizations. Surrender your vessel immediately." Lee stepped forward calmly. "I am Captain Lee Doyen of the UES Goliath. We have done nothing wrong and will not surrender." "You destroyed 3 fleets without warning," Admiral Zexathera accused. "You threaten our entire way of life with your expansion plans." "We defended ourselves when attacked," Lee replied. "And we have no expansion plans that threaten anyone." The alien admiral looked confused. "Then why did you build such a massive warship?" Lee made a decision that shocked his entire crew. "To answer that question, I invite you and your senior commanders to tour our ship. See for yourself what kind of people we are." The bridge fell silent. Even the alien fleet seemed stunned by this offer. No military commander in history had ever invited enemies aboard their vessel during a standoff. "This is madness," whispered Security Chief Han Junwoo. "It is our only chance," Lee replied quietly. Admiral Zexathera was equally shocked. "You would allow armed enemies onto your ship?" "I would allow guests to visit and learn the truth," Lee corrected. "Bring whoever you want. We have nothing to hide." The alien commander thought for several minutes. Her advisors were all talking at once, some urging caution, others demanding she refuse the obvious trap. "Very well," she finally decided. "I will bring 12 representatives from different civilizations, but any sign of treachery and my fleet will destroy you." "Understood," Lee replied. "Dock at Bay 7 in 1 hour." When the transmission ended, Lee's officers surrounded him with protests and objections. "Captain, this is too dangerous," Lieutenant Colonel Kim Sajin argued. "They could plant bombs or try to capture you." "They could try," Lee agreed. "But they will not succeed. Trust me on this." Chief Engineer Kang Woojin was already preparing. "I will make sure our most sensitive areas are secured." "No," Lee said firmly. "Show them everything. Engineering, weapons control, the bridge if they want to see it. We hide nothing." Dr. Cho Sulgi understood what the captain was planning. "You want them to see that we are not monsters." "Exactly," Lee confirmed. "Fear comes from the unknown. Once they understand us, the fear will fade." 1 hour later, a small alien shuttle docked with the Goliath. Admiral Zexathera led 12 other beings from different species. They looked nervous as they stepped aboard the human ship. Captain Lee met them personally at the airlock. "Welcome aboard the Goliath. I am honored to have you as our guests." The aliens looked around in surprise. The corridors were clean and bright. Human crew members walked past, going about their normal duties. Children ran through the halls playing games and laughing. "This did not look like a warship." "Children?" Admiral Zexathera asked in surprise. "Many of our crew have families," Lee explained. "We travel together, work together, and live together. This ship is our home." Dr. Cho Solgi joined the tour as their guide. She led the aliens through different sections of the ship. They saw the schools where human children learned. They visited the parks where families relaxed under artificial sunlight. They watched the hospitals where alien survivors from the recent battle were being cared for alongside human. "Patience, you saved our people," whispered a wounded Draktai officer they met in the medical bay. "All life is precious," Dr. Jang Hyuk replied as he checked the aliens' injuries. "We help anyone who needs it." The tour continued to the engineering sections. Chief Engineer Kang showed them the massive power cores and shield generators, but he also showed them the manufacturing areas where the ship produced food, clothing, and tools for daily life. "This is not just a warship," Admiral Zexathera observed. "It is a colony ship." Both, Kang agreed. We built it to carry our people to new worlds and protect them during the journey. When they reached the weapons control room, Weapons Officer Nam Tae-hyun explained the ship's defensive systems. The aliens were amazed by the technology but also surprised by how it was used. Your targeting systems are designed to disable rather than destroy, noted a Theron technical expert. When possible, yes, Nam replied. We prefer to stop enemies rather than kill them. The final stop was the ship's cultural center, where cultural specialist Lee So-young had prepared displays about human civilization. The aliens saw art, music, literature, and scientific achievements from Earth. You create beauty, said a young Velkari scientist, looking at human paintings. Warriors do not usually care about art. We are not warriors by choice, Lee So-young explained. We are explorers, scientists, teachers, and artists who learn to fight in order to survive. Admiral Zexithara was beginning to understand. You build these ships because space is dangerous, not because you want to conquer others. Exactly, Captain Lee confirmed. We have seen what happens to peaceful species who cannot defend themselves. We chose to be strong so we could remain free. The tour ended in the ship's main assembly hall, where thousands of crew members had gathered. The aliens saw humans of all ages working together, learning together, and building a life together among the stars. How many ships like this do you have? Admiral Zexthara asked. Lee decided to tell the complete truth. 5 total. This is the only one in your region of space. The others are exploring different areas or protecting our home system. The alien commander looked surprised. Only 5? But you spoke of massive expansion fleets. We plan to build more ships as our population grows, Lee admitted, but not warships. Colony ships, research vessels, and cargo haulers. We only need a few ships like the Goliath to protect them. Admiral Zexithara turned to her fellow commanders. They had spent weeks preparing to fight a massive invasion fleet. Instead, they found a single family of explorers who wanted only to find new homes among the stars. Captain Lee, she said formally, on behalf of the Grand Alliance, I apologize for our actions. We attacked you because we were afraid, not because you threatened us. Fear is natural when meeting strangers, Lee replied kindly, but now we know each other better. The meeting that followed was unlike any in galactic history. Representatives from 47 civilizations sat down with humans to discuss the future. Instead of war, they talked about trade, exploration, and mutual protection. The Velkari offered to share star charts of safe regions for human colonies. The Theron Collective proposed scientific exchange programs. Even the remaining Draktai promised to respect human territorial claims. In return, humans offered to share some of their defensive technology and promised to help defend smaller civilizations against space pirates and other threats. The galaxy is large enough for all of us, Captain Lee said as they signed the first human galactic accords. There is room for everyone to grow and prosper. Admiral Zexthara agreed. Today we have learned that strength and wisdom can work together. Humanity will be welcome partners in our galactic community. As the alien fleets dispersed to carry news of the accords to their homeworlds, Captain Lee stood on his bridge looking out at the stars. The first alien encounter had been difficult and dangerous, but it ended with friendship instead of war. Commander Park joined him at the window. The galaxy will never be the same, Captain. No, Lee agreed. But perhaps that is a good thing. We have shown them that humans can be trusted with great power. Now we must prove we deserve that trust. The Goliath continued its mission, but now it traveled with new purpose. Humanity had found its place among the stars not through conquest but through understanding. The galaxy had learned that sometimes the strongest species could also be the kindest. And in the vast spaces between the stars, new friendships were being born that would last for generations to come.